Hey ladies and gentlemen, Steven here from Redolessence. Welcome back to another video. So the autumn is here, and here we have a fragrance that combines cinnamon, suede leather, cocoa, and tonka bean. If that doesn't get you excited, I'm excited to spend a little bit of time talking about the smell of this one by the company Loumari. This one is called Nuage Noir. I'm excited to give you my thoughts on it, so make sure to stay tuned. Now, before I begin my fragrance review of Nuage Noir by Loumari, and I tell you all about this fragrance, what it smells like, what notes I pick up on, so on and so forth, I do want to mention that if you are a fan of fragrance-related content, please do consider supporting this channel by subscribing to it, enable all notifications by clicking on the bell, and give this video a thumbs up if you take something of value from this video. So I have done a review of another fragrance by this brand. I believe it's Almeria. I'm going to leave a card to that up here. That is an incredibly versatile elemi resin type of a fragrance that I can see myself wearing all year round. And here is one that I think caters towards the colder months, and so the autumn and the winter time. The perfumer for this is Anne-Sophie Behegel, really accomplished perfumer, and I do own some of her other creations. And here we have Nuage Noir. Now the name for this fragrance translates to black cloud, and so it does have some darker elements. It has the leather accord, it has the suede, it has the cinnamon, the cocoa, a little bit of bergamot in the opening, some cedarwood in the base to just sort of ground the fragrance. But I also pick up on another ingredient in here that is not listed in the note breakdown, and maybe it's just a sensation that is created on account of the combination of the other ingredients. But in any case, I'm going to tell you what it is in just a second. Let's go ahead and start things off with the presentation. So the opening of this fragrance is a combination of sweet and spicy. And I don't think it's too strong in either one of those categories. And so it's not a full-blown spicy fragrance, but it's also not a true gourmand either. There are a lot of other darker ingredients that really anchor this fragrance into the base. So you have the cedarwood, you have the papyrus or papyrus, depending on how you want to pronounce it. But then you also have that sprinkling of cocoa in here that I think is really nice. It's not powdery at all, and whenever you think of cocoa or cacao, sometimes it does come across smelling a little bit powdery. In the case of this fragrance, it doesn't. And there's also tonka bean in here. Now, the tonka bean is not overly coumarinic. I don't think you're going to get an overdose of coumarin from this fragrance. If anything, I think it's 70% cocoa and like 30% tonka bean. So the cocoa, in terms of the sweet ingredients that are used in here, really dominates this fragrance, and the bergamot in the opening is quite fleeting. So you're going to get it for like the first 10, 15, 20 minutes, and then it's going to disappear. And really what you're left with is this suede, leather, cedarwood, and cocoa combination, which I think smells very mysterious, very exotic, but it's also on the dark side. And so that's why I think this fragrance is perfect for the colder weather. Now, here's the thing. I actually pick up on a little bit of tobacco. I don't get tobacco in the note breakdown, and the more that I smell it, the more I'm kind of reminded, not 100%, but I'm kind of reminded of other tobacco-based fragrances that I've gotten my nose on. But whenever I try to make an explicit comparison, it doesn't work, because I don't think it smells like any one other fragrance that I own or have smelled. It just kind of gives me a tobacco vibe. Another fragrance that I think is kind of along the same realm, if you will, is Bois d'Ombrie by Eau d'Italie, which is a composition by Bertrand Duchaufour that has an amazing photorealistic tobacco note. And this is like a very subdued version of that, with a bit of sweetness and a bit of spiciness, and you have the cinnamon in here. And like I said, I think there's complexity. I don't think it's overly sweet. I don't think it's overly spicy. I don't think it's overly woodsy. I think it shares a really nice balance of these ingredients that kind of allows it to go in several different directions. And I think the harmony is established on account of not being too strong in any one particular category. But I am getting a little bit of that cinnamony tobacco vibe in here. I don't really know what it is, but I'm really enjoying this one. This is definitely the type of fragrance I would recommend for somebody who's looking for something that's dark, but they're not looking for something that is super heavy on the resins, very smoky on account of birch or cade, but something that is very gently nuanced with a touch of sweetness, a high level of accessibility. I think Nuage Noir by Loumari is an awesome fragrance. Let's go ahead and finish things off with my overall assessment. So first up, in terms of the uniqueness and the overall smell, I certainly find this fragrance to be unique. The combination of all of the ingredients in here, the cocoa, the cinnamon, the suede, the cedarwood, the papyrus, the bergamot, even that tobacco vibe that I pick up on, I think is very different. And unlike other fragrances that I've tried, I think it's awesome. The overall smell, I think, is going to be very accessible, and I don't think it's too heavy on even the darker ingredients that this fragrance possesses in the base. I don't think it's overwhelming, and I think it's the type of fragrance that will really get heads to turn, especially when people around you get a chance to smell this one. Longevity, 8+ hours. Projection, amazing for the first hour and a half of application. Never radiated beyond an arm's length, but it's the type of fragrance that is comprised of a lot of base notes, and so it is going to sit a little bit closer to the skin. Not a skin scent, and so don't get that misconstrued, because it will actually project very well within an arm's length for the first hour and a half of application. And then at that 6-hour mark, it actually starts to sit within an elbow's length. In terms of the versatility, perfectly unisex, great for the colder weather, more suitable for somebody who's a little bit older, not a high school or college student. Maybe if you've had a little bit of experience when it comes to fragrances, you can definitely pull this off. If you're a little bit older, more on the mature side as well, and it doesn't smell dated at all. And like I said, perfectly unisex, anybody can wear it, and it does have a level of formality about it. So I would probably prefer to wear this one dressed up as opposed to casually. And in terms of the presentation, I think it's absolutely beautiful, from the graphic on the bottle, the engraving, just everything about it. My final verdict on this fragrance is, I think it's an awesome, complex, slightly sweet, and spicy fragrance for the autumn and winter months. If you are a fan of cinnamon, cocoa, and I'll even say tobacco, even though it's not in the note breakdown, please check out this fragrance. I think it's a special creation, and I'm very happy and privileged to have a bottle of this in my collection. So there you have it, ladies and gents. Thank you so much for joining me today. That was my fragrance review of Nuage Noir by Loumari. I'm going to leave links down below to where you can find it for sale online. I hope you have the opportunity to either sample it or discover the scent in some capacity, because I think it's an awesome fragrance. While you're at it, also check out Almeria. There are a lot of great fragrances by this brand. They only have a few, but all of them are really high quality, made by very well-known, recognizable perfumers. So thank you so much for watching. If you took something of value from this video, please do consider supporting this channel by subscribing to it. Enable all notifications by clicking on the bell, and give this video a thumbs up if you took something of value from today's video. Thanks again for watching. Love you all. We'll see you soon. Bye.